Hello, everyone. It's me, Asia, for the Marines Fangirl channel. No updates. Look at my thumbnail, you'll see the updates. I want to talk about Joker 2. So, I saw Joker 2 yesterday. Now, before I even get into Joker 2, let me just give y'all a little backstory, short and sweet. I did not see Joker when it came out in 2019. I was in high school. I wasn't really a big fan of movies going into villains' backstories and stuff like that. So I didn't watch it when it came out. My dad did. He told me it was good. So last year, I was bored and I saw that Joker was on HBO Max. Watched it. Absolutely loved it. There's not one thing I can say that I hate about the Joker 2019 movie. I loved it. I think I watched it about 3 more times after I watched it because it was just that good to me. So when I saw they were doing a sequel, I was so excited because I finally got that time to watch it, right? But then I saw in the trailers they were doing a musical. I'm not a fan of musicals. Not at all. I don't like all that singing, none of that shit. When I was a kid, I was able to watch musicals like High School Musical and Camp Rock. Now that I'm older, I refuse to watch that shit because it's just too much singing and I just don't like musicals. I don't think Joker 2 should have been a musical. I get why they put music in it, because, back in those times, Patience did music, I guess, to calm them down. But when you have a movie that was serious and did not have musical numbers in the first one, why do you feel like you need to make it a musical in this one? And the only reason why I could feel like it was a musical in Joker 2 was because they put Lady Gaga in it. Because that's all her character did in this movie, was sing. That's all her character did. She just sung here, sung there, sung every motherfucking everywhere, sing, 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 sing. All she did was sing. And that's the reason why I could feel like they made Joker 2 a musical, because she's a singer. There was no reason for this movie to have a musical. I feel like, if anything, Joker 2 showed why sequels should not be made if you don't know what the fuck you are doing. This movie was so goddamn confusing. I'm talking about, I'm watching it, and half of the time I was really confused on what was going on. I feel like they were talking just to be talking. I have no idea what the hell was going on. There were some things I understood, but some I was really like, what the hell? Now, just to clear this up, I'm not going to go through every nick and cranny of this movie. I'm just going to say stuff that really pissed me off or that just stuck out to me. So let's get to it. So, Joker 2. Like I just said, this movie was really confusing. I think Tom Phillips had no idea what the hell he was writing when he wrote this. It took 5 years for this movie to get a sequel. And that's what the fuck you came up with? 5 years. You have 5 years to write a good script, to come up with something the fans wanted to see for Joker. And this is what you wrote? A fucking sequel? Not a sequel. A fucking musical. Excuse me. You wrote a musical to the sequel. What the fuck does music have to do with the first movie? I'll tell you, not a damn thing. Music had nothing to do with this franchise. But since you put a singer in here like Lady Gaga, and I know she's not really much of an actress, she's really a singer, I'm pretty sure that's why they put this in here. Music. Because she's a singer, right? She doesn't really do much acting. She does singing. I don't know why singing was in here. I really don't think he knew what the hell he was doing. Like I said, I was really confused. Like, Harley Quinn, Lady Gaga, whatever the fuck her name is in this movie, because they didn't know what to call her. Lee, Harley Quinn. I was like, what is this bitch name? Is her name Lee or Harley Quinn? What is it? Pick a name, stick with it. I was really confused because if she's a normal person, why would she check herself into a mentally unstable hospital? Why would she do that? What's the reason? To meet Arthur Fleck? To meet the Joker? Listen, when they did this whole thing, oh, he might have a split personality, let me tell you, he doesn't. Arthur Fleck doesn't have a split personality. That was Arthur Fleck who committed all those crimes. So for them trying to get him to plead insanity because he was getting the death penalty is stupid. Arthur Fleck committed all those crimes. He just put on clown makeup and just killed people. Now, when he killed the 3 boys on the train, I'm going to give him half credit for that because he was getting bullied and they were picking on him for no reason. They didn't give him the chance to pull out his card to show him he has a laughing condition, and they just beat him up because he just started laughing, right? He can't control his laughing condition, so they just beat him up. So for that was self-defense, because if I was on the train and I saw 3 dudes coming towards me, best believe survival instinct is hopping in, because anything could happen. I could get this, I can get that, who knows, right? So your survival instinct hop in. When he killed his mother, I can give him half credit for that because his mother abused him and she allowed him to get abused. She dated boyfriends who abused her and beat her child, and they put him back into his abuser's home. So for that, yeah, she can go because you abused me and you allowed me to get abused. Therefore, you can get the fuck out of my life. Bye-bye. He murdered Maury because he was just like everybody else. Maury made fun of him. That's why he invited him on that show, was to make fun of him. He didn't invite him on the show so he could get out there and show his talent. He made fun of his clip when he was at the comedian show. So Maury brought him on that show just to make fun of him. He was just like everybody else. So if you really look at half of the murders Arthur really committed, they were all really for like really reasons. And I'm not saying murder is okay, but for those specific reasons, I saw why he did it, right? You feel me? Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure anybody in this world will kill their abuser, right? Because you abused me, you caused me so much pain. I think I have to take you out. You got to get out of my life, right? So, in Joker 2, when they're trying to make it seem like, oh, he got a split personality, oh, he need to show more of his human side, the Joker was the one who committed all those crimes. What? No. He just called himself the Joker because that's what they called him on the show when they run his clip. They said Joker, right? So he said, just call me the Joker. To say he has a split personality and all this and all that, what the hell were they thinking? He doesn't have a split personality. So for Harley Quinn to be like, oh, I checked myself in his mental hospital because I wanted to meet Joker. This bitch lied about everything. She was manipulating him from the beginning. She was manipulating him from the start, y'all. And Joker 2, she was manipulating him from the beginning. Talk about she wants to meet Joker. Show me who you really are. Joker is just what he called himself. There is no split personality. Joker, it's just what he called himself when he went on the show. Arthur Fleck, and I'll say it again, Arthur Fleck committed all those crimes that I just said. He committed all those crimes. There was no other person. So this movie is opening up with the wrong idea, right? And I'm going to get to the Harley Quinn stuff because I know I keep saying it, but I'm not going really into detail. I'm going to get to that. But let me just talk about this mental illness shit. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist, and I'm not a fucking therapist. But let me tell you something. In Joker 2019, he was on 7 different type of medications for his mental illnesses. So when the doctor in the courtroom said he feel like Arthur is performing a mental illness, I was pissed because I was like, all right, so why isn't the doctor, therapist, psychiatrist, whoever that black lady is, why is she not saying, well, he can't be performing a mental illness because he was on seven different types of medications and he's been in and out of mental institutions his whole life. So if he's faking mental illness, how the fuck has he been in and out of institutions? Why is he on 7 different type of medications for his conditions? That makes no sense. Like, clock it. Talk to me. Let me know what's going on. Because, Tom, what the hell are you writing? What's up? What was this? What is this bullshit he wrote in that script? Talk about he's performing mental illness. Does that even make sense to anyone? When you look at Arthur Fleck, doesn't he look like he got some mental illness? Like, doesn't he look like he's suffering from something? He don't seem like that much of a normal person. He definitely seems like he's suffering from mental illnesses. So how can you say in Joker 2, he's faking everything? What type of person would just pop 7 different type of medications for the fun of it? Who does that? That doesn't even make sense. Damn sure don't make sense to me. And I know it won't make sense to nobody else. So that's one thing in the movie that definitely Didn't make sense to me. They're trying to say he got a split personality, and then try to say that he's faking mental illness. What? That don't even make sense. Let me get to this Harley Quinn shit. Lee, whatever the fuck her name is in this movie, because they didn't know what they wanted her identity to be. Lee lied about everything, saying that her mother brought her into this, committed her, and her father beat the hell out of her, and all this other bullshit. She just said all that so she could trauma bond with Arthur, right? Everything Lee was doing was manipulation. She know Arthur was vulnerable. She probably know Arthur was a virgin. She probably know Arthur probably never been in any relationships, probably never had a girlfriend, right? So she said all the right things for him to believe she really loved him. She made this man fall in love with her. She made this man make love to her, then lied and said, oh, they're sending me away. Oh, I gotta go home because they're saying he's a bad influence on her. So they separating them. So before she left, they had sex, right? They had sex. Pretty sure it was his first time. Not judging. You know, he's something 40-year-old man getting his first taste of coochie. You know, I ain't judging him for that. Ain't nothing wrong with waiting. You feel me? Losing your virginity is not a motherfucking contest. You feel me? But she lied to where it's like, what was her character supposed to be in this movie? Because she didn't really do anything. She was obsessed with Joker. Joker is just what he called himself when he put on the paint. That's it. So I was really confused on what the love story was supposed to be, because I didn't get it. Because Lady Gaga was really in this movie, and then it's like, why didn't they just do the origin story for what Harley Quinn's story really is? She was a psychiatrist who was supposed to, you know, study Joker, but instead of feel like she was curing him or helping him, she was really falling in love with him. Why didn't they just do that instead? Who lets people who don't suffer from mental illness check themselves into a mental illness hospital just to have mentally ill patients fall in love with them? That don't make no sense. Like, come on, man. Come on. Does that make sense to anyone? That shit was just stupid. So, let me take a sip of water. When Arthur's lawyer said, Lee's been lying to you, she lives on the Upper West Side, she's rich, she's studying psychiatry, her mother is alive, her dad is a doctor, this bitch is rich. Why is she lying to you when I could do a background check on this bitch? She'd be like, that. Like, she lying to you. I'm looking at her background check, and this bitch is rich. There's nothing mentally ill wrong with her. So she lying to you. So when Arthur checked her, he said, did she lie to him? And she said, yes, she lied. She said, people lie a little bit. And he said, did you really check yourself in here? And she said, yeah. He said, that's crazy. And he said, you did all that just so you could meet me? She said, just to meet you. And he said, why didn't you just write a card? Bitch, you could have been a fan instead of just coming into this hospital and manipulating me into falling in love with you when you lied about everything. Then she gonna say she was pregnant. Listen, y'all, I don't think she was pregnant at all. She lied because I really feel like in that moment, he was really finna drop her ass. Like, say I want nothing to do with you. You lying a lot about everything. You've been lying since the moment we met, bitch. You just been manipulating me. So the moment she said, oh, I'm pregnant, he instantly thought, well, yeah, we did have sex, and, you know, I ain't put no condom on, so she could be right. She could be carrying my baby. But it's like, no, she not. She lying about carrying this nigga baby. Because when whoever blew up the courthouse, and he said that he can escape, they can run away, she all like, we can't. All we had was the fantasy, and you gave that up. She said goodbye. She left this nigga high and dry. The moment this nigga said there was no Joker, she said, fuck you, right? Bitch was never pregnant. When he said we're having a baby, and she was like, no, we're not running away together, that was her saying, I lied about everything. I was never pregnant. She just said that so she could make sure he wasn't going to go anywhere, right? This is what I'm really confused on. And when I say the movie is confusing, this is what I'm talking about. She said fantasy, right? In this movie, she just kept saying fantasy. And in his head, he kept seeing her. So I feel like, was Harley Quinn real or was she a fantasy? Because I feel like in this movie, he was more in his head than he was in the first movie. So it was really, really confusing. Like, really, really confusing. Like, in the first movie, when he was with that black girl Sophie. I thought that was real until they showed after he read the file that he was abused, and he went to her apartment and they were showing flashbacks that they were never together. And I was like, oh, okay, I needed to see that because I thought that was real. But then they were showing he was in his head, right? He was obsessed with his neighbor. So with Harley Quinn, I'm confused because it's like, was she a fantasy or was she real? Because it just didn't make sense. Like, this movie was so confusing. They spent way too much time in court just to really be like, oh, he's not mentally ill, he's normal, he got a split personality. They spent way too much time in court. Like, ugh, come on, what we doing? Is he going to prison? Is he getting the death penalty? What we doing? Why the fuck is we still going through all of this, all of that? Like, what's up? They got that girl Sophie sitting in the chair talking about all the shit that his mama told him. I mean, all the shit his mama told her, talking about, she made up stories talking about he was put on this earth to make people laugh and smile just so her son wouldn't commit suicide. He never had a girlfriend. He's probably a virgin. I'm thinking in my head, what this got to do with his mental illness? What this got to do if he guilty or not for these crimes he committed? What this got to do with anything? Who cares if my nigga never had no girlfriends? Who cares if he a virgin? What that got to do with the case? What they got to do with the case? What does that have to do with the crimes he committed? Please tell me. This movie was so fucking confusing. They really fucked this up. They had no idea what they were doing for this sequel. They should have just left it alone. Like, yo, should have just left it alone. He should have just left the way it was how it was at the end of 2019. If he wasn't going to write something that the fans could get behind or that we could understand, he should have left it alone. Period. And then they kill him off. They killed him off. They killed him. Why did they kill him? I have no reason. I don't know why. Why did they kill him? It made no sense. They killed him off for what? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I was so confused. Why was he getting shanked? What? And then in the movie, they implied that he might have got sexually assaulted by the guards, gang raped. This movie was all over the place. Like I said, sometimes I feel like they were talking just to be talking. I wasn't really sure what they were talking about. Like I just said, in the courtroom, Sophie's talking about this, she's talking about that. And then, hold on, y'all, because there's a lot in this movie that didn't make a lot of sense. I'm not done. I thought I was finna turn this off and wrap it up, but no, I got some more shit to say. Hold on. They had Sophie sit in the seat, right? No, not her. Hold on. His doctor, the black doctor. So she reading his journal, his private thoughts, right? Why in the journal they put the first dream he had about Sophie was the day he killed that dude Randall? That is not true. He was obsessed with Sophie way before he killed Randall because he was stalking Sophie, right? Stalking her. And then he was having fantasies that they were dating, that they made love and everything like that, right? None of that was real. So why did they write the day he killed Randall on November 17th? Then that's when his obsession started. Did Tom Phillips forget what he wrote in the first film? Because that's where this continuity hop in. That's where all these plot holes start happening. You forgot what you wrote? Because that makes no sense. He was already obsessed with Sophie way before he killed Randall. Right? And another thing that don't make sense, if Sophie was always coming around and hanging out with his mama because his mama was babysitting her kid, how is he just now seeing her? Make that make sense for me, right? Make it make sense, because I'm pretty sure he never talked to any other women. I'm pretty sure he never had any girlfriends, right? So how is it that was the first time he's seen her? She lived right down the hall from him. That can't be the first time they've been in an elevator. She said it, right? She said that she never spoke to him. She just always see him in an elevator or, walking down the hall. She never spoke to this man, but yet for some reason her mama was always babysitting. His mama was always babysitting her kid. And then his mama had so much time to tell this girl Sophie after his entire life story about how he a virgin, he never had no girlfriend, and a lot about him having a laughing condition and all of this other shit just so he won't commit suicide. Like I said, what that got to do with the case? What that got to do with anything? When he said, "Oh, I can't take this anymore," yeah, because what the fuck was his lawyer doing? She got them on the stand just yabba 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 da dabba da dabba da do, talking and talking and talking, yappity motherfucking smackety about nothing. What does him being a virgin or not having girlfriends have to do with how mentally ill he is, or whether or not he's normal, or we doing death penalty, or is he going away for life? What they gotta do anything? I'm just like, woo, 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 like confused, because what they gotta do anything? Please tell me. Joker 2 was a disaster. It was, man, a mixbag. It lost its potential. Tom Phillips didn't have no idea what he was doing. Like always, Joaquin Phoenix was fucking amazing. He was great. A few things I could say that was good about the movie. Acting was top tier. Visual effects was amazing. Cameras, how the city looked, everything was great. Just the story was really confusing. Story was really hard for me to keep up with. Because like I said, half the time I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. What the fuck they were saying. It was really confusing. I was confused. So just for that, man. Because I really loved the first Joker. But making this a musical and talking about stuff that doesn't matter. Tom Phillips had no idea what he was doing for this movie. He didn't know what he wanted to do. And for that, that's sad, because now this movie has it made history for one of the lowest box office ticket sales in history because of the musical and the writing. That's 2 hours of a movie that I can't get back because you didn't know what to write for a story. Just wow, man. Just wow. Tom Phillips, stay the fuck away from Hollywood. Stay the fuck away from the writers team, because you clearly don't know how to write a good story, bitch. You wrote a good movie and then you ruined the fucking franchise with that piece of shit of a sequel. You call that shit work, nigga? That was one of the worst sequels I ever seen in my motherfucking life. A waste of 2 goddamn hours that I can't get back, bitch. So for that, stay the fuck away from the writers team, bitch. And I'm out of here. Joker 2 fucking sucks, and I don't recommend it to watch it. Period. I got my Degrassi videos coming out. Catch y'all in the next day. Bye, bitches.